back, and he's gotten in 4 good weeks of work.
In what way? What closing?
Getting back to feeling right.
Are there things you've noticeable improvement and things that are obvious that he needs to work on?
Yeah, I mean, he came back doing as good as he did last year, and we've had 2 practices, and I think he's done some good things in those 2 practices.
Is throwing motion at all different?
No, I don't think so.
He's a little bit more 3/4. I mean, I don't recall that.
Then when? 3 more 3/4 than when?
I remember. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly.
Yeah, arm angles change here and there, but no, I see him about the same.
You have a list. Injuries?
Nope.
This time of the year.
No, I answer questions. Yeah. I know that's your favorite thing to talk about injuries in, what is it, May? And I got a whole list right here just in case you ask. But I don't have to really talk about all of them. But you only get one question. Which one is it?
Who is Demetrius Flanagan fouls? Aziz Al-Shire, are they injured?
Yeah, Aziz had shoulder surgery at the end of the year and knee surgery. He'll be preparing for training camp. And Demetrius just has some knee tendonitis, so we'll see how that goes throughout OTAs. I talked to him here and there. I got a good idea. I mean, I've been in touch with him throughout the offseason, through his wedding, through his honeymoon. He's in some other country right now. But I got a pretty good idea what he's doing. Same as last time. I'm going to leave that up to Alex, but I got a pretty good idea. I think you guys do too. Yeah, Juice got here for OTA 1, so he's been here today. He had a personal thing with his family, so he had to leave today, but he was here yesterday. Trent, I expect to be here towards the end. We'll see. I know he'll at least be here from what he says when it's mandatory, and same with Bosa, and I'm expecting Debo also. I remember from last time, I'm going to stop telling you guys when I talk to guys and not talk to guys because I don't want to make that news and have to keep up with that. But I talk to all our players.
Back, normal.
Yeah, of course I do. And I felt that last time I talked to you guys at draft time, and I feel the same, if not stronger. Yeah, same thing I said last time. Nothing's changed. I mean, it's conversations we have with Debo, and maybe some more of that will come out eventually, but now's not the time.
Intent on having these time left off season. Do you see similar things with Brandon? Wake the off season performing out.
Yeah, I think each year guys have, you learn stuff from it, and you learn how hard this league is, and guys usually go 1 or 2 ways each year. They realize, man, I got to put more work in and prepare for that long haul, or man, that was exhausting, and I'm going to avoid that as long as I can until I have to come back again. And usually the ones who get better and better are the ones who figure out what they got to do during the season and the offseason, prepare them for that. And I think Brandon's done that each year. Debo's been awesome with that stuff each year, and that's why usually veterans understand how to make it in this league a little bit better.
When it comes to the quarterback situation, I know you addressed it at the owners' meetings, but is there a chance that it's fluid at all, or things still, are you still viewing it as phrase trending towards being ready, and things haven't necessarily changed on the drum?
Yeah, nothing's changed since his surgery. We were where we were at before that, and then he got the surgery, so everything went on hold. I expect him at some time most likely to be traded, but who knows? That's not a guarantee, and it's been exactly on hold when that happened, and when he's healthy, we'll see what happens. Run skill, same thing as Flan, some knee tendonitis. We're holding him out. Maybe towards the end of OTAs, we'll see how this goes, but he'll be fine by training camp. Just because we're not trying to go team quite yet, and we're trying to slow it down to the O-line and D-line, and we were trying that out these 2 days. We'll try it out again on Friday, and then we'll reassess next week.
Wide receivers, how would you sort of compare the personalities and the styles, going from West to Leonard?
I mean, they're both their own person. It was awesome. They were in the room together last year, so they got to, Hank got to watch how Wes did it, so he knows exactly what that room's expecting. I got to coach Hank for I think 5 years as a player, so he has a lot of experience doing that stuff. And their personalities, I think, are somewhat similar. You can ask Hank when you talk to him what the difference is, but they're both their own man, and I think the players respect them a bunch.
Reese and Kubiak work together, and what have been your first impressions of that sort of dynamic?
Yeah, they've been great. We had them here about 4 or 5 weeks before the players got here, so we got to go through a whole process of what we do. We got to study college guys together, so you get to go through all this stuff and really learn what each other are about. And they've been working with the quarterbacks the last month, which they do an awesome job at. They really dive into the detail of every little aspect of it. I think they've been great getting along with all 3 of our quarterbacks, and they've been good on the field here these last 2 days. Rookie minicamp was good, but finally getting out there with these with our guys today and yesterday is really when it starts going, because you get a coach out there, then you get to come in and watch film. You get to review the film as coaches, so you all get on the same page, and then usually the next day they review it with the players.
Do you see a big difference between what Trey Lance looked like now on the practice field compared to a year ago at this time?
No, it was the second day of OTAs, so I don't really look at anyone that way. This is just the start of guys going out, getting a little bit of football in, and we got 9 of these, and then we get away, and then we start training camp, which is the real deal.
It might be too early to tell, but Tarvarius Moore, can you kind of gauge if he's back to full speed after that injury?
I mean, he's back to full speed and health, so he's out there going and stuff. I mean, again, it's been 2 days, so today was the first day we did a 2-shell defense, so it's been good that he's healthy enough to get out there, start working back in to get into football shape, and give himself a chance to compete for a job here when training camp comes.
Warner and Kittle, I want to make sure the spectators being arrested.
I mean, both of them have some similar issues, so we're being smart with them. They could go, but there's not much need for them to go right now. We'll see if they go towards the end of OTAs, but there's a good chance we'll hold them out till training camp. Lower half. Yeah. Not enough for me to really look into that hard. It's not that interesting to me. They'll be all right. What's that?
Ambry Thomas.
Ambry was sick today. He was here yesterday, but we sent him home this morning. Came in with some symptoms.
Looked like Justin School was wearing any brace. Is he all the way back?
Yeah, he's cleared to go and healthy. I mean, when guys are all the way back, it means they're healed. But it takes a while to get all the way back playing football, and that's why he's fortunate to have OTAs and stuff to kind of hopefully build a base before you go to training camp and it's real football.
Do you think Kinlaw would let you be ready by camp?
Yeah, I do. Those guys have been great. We didn't expect to have them until training camp, but just looking at them out there and how they're moving, we consider them ahead of schedule, and it's been very positive on both of those guys. No. I mean, eventually they could if they wanted to, but it's not worth it. Yeah, he has.
Does that impact his role at all?
No, I don't think so. The lightest Kinlaw had been was the end of his rookie year when he got hurt at that Dallas game, and he was playing at the top of his level then, and he's a pretty strong, massive guy, so the way he's been working, the way he's been eating, he's going to be the right size, whatever that weight is, because he's in pretty good shape.
Want to see from Aaron Banks over these 9 practices?
Hopefully he can stay healthy through this and get work in 9 days. It's with us not going against each other as much right now. It's so important on the drills they set up to go against each other because we're trying to simulate football the best we can. Hopefully we'll be able to do that a little bit more as we get going. But just to be able to have no setbacks, go through it healthy, and really when he leaves here, be in a great position to come back in 40 days and really try to get a starting job.
Do your eyes more naturally track the wide receivers rather than like whatever new cornerbacks you're trying out right now when you're in person and then studying more on film?
On person, because I know where the ball's going when I watch the receivers. I can see the coverage. I know where the ball's supposed to go, so you know where to watch. And when I'm on film, so I go through it a bunch of times because I try to find the time to watch all the guys out there.
Think of how Shavarius along.
I think he's been great. Just having him here for the month of phase 1 and phase 2, just having him here with the guys, going in the drills where we haven't been doing a ton of football against each other, but just all footwork drills and stuff like that. He's as talented of a dude as we've had here. He's been a great guy, loves to work, doesn't say a lot, just goes out and gets his job done, and seems like he fits in very well.
Brett likely just maybe come back and camp. And
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. We were pumped to get Jason back, and we know it's been a hard recovery for him, like he's gone through a number of times. But I know when he got back here and everyone saw him, everyone's pumped to have that guy back, and we're all pulling that he can get healthy for training camp.
In the run game, how does that change your process at all? Or
Not much. I mean, him and Chris would work together most of the time, and me and Bobby worked together most of the time in the pass game, and then we'd always meet in the middle and change stuff up as a group, and just have one less guy there. So there's certain parts. I mean, I'll always miss with Mike. I mean, Mike been around me for a long time. Lots of stuff he could do for me, which was awesome. Kind of sucks not having him now because sometimes I got to do it, and not always do I want to. And you ask someone else to do it, and they do a great job, but then you realize, oh, he wasn't here 7 years ago when we learned not to do it because of that, or 12 years ago when we did it. So that there's a process with that stuff, but that's what's good for the offseason. That's what's good for OTA. So you can ask guys to do stuff. You expect it a certain way. And then you come in and you learn what that guy doesn't know, and he learns what you want. And hopefully you get that stuff right for the season, so it's smooth throughout the year.
how do you come up with a play? I mean, there's not to compare you to a songwriter, but there's some guys that sit at a bar, write stuff out on a napkin. How does an origin of a play start with?
What I see on the defense. I mean, there's not these secret plays that we carry this, I always say that notebook around and what is it? Water boy. That someone's going to steal someday, and then we're screwed. We all run the same plays. It's how you tie them together, how you design them, how you put certain guys in certain positions, how they have answers versus not the perfect look, but all the looks. And that's really what it comes down to, timing and preparation and understanding what works against defenses and understanding what works against defenses and what your players can do versus those defenses.
How much of your time up to this point has been just doing that, looking at teams maybe you didn't play last year but will be playing this year, or just looking around the league at defensive trends and what works and what doesn't, and where you think the next evolution will be?
I mean, that's what I do more when I'm bored and just have my own time. I like to just turn on teams and watch stuff, whatever it is. But usually this times, I mean, if there's a month dedicated to getting ready for the draft, when it's not that, it's usually coaching coaches. Whether you have a new staff or not, it's watching film with them, saying it how you want, hearing how they see it, telling them how you see it, just trying to get everyone's on the same page. And everyone wants to be on the same page, but there's also things that you want done that they haven't done. So you try to train them in that area, and then it gets better through the experience of it. And then you try to hear aspects from them that they've done it differently that you don't know, which sometimes will have me change something up. But at this time of year, before the players come in, we're mainly coaching coaches.
When you brought Denard in, because it was late last year, I'm sure it was like you needed somebody and he was available. Has he shown you more than you expected, either from last year this offseason?
Yeah, he showed me more last year than I expected. Anytime you bring someone in that late, there's not a ton of choices that time, and to have someone like him who has had the career he's had and done some things like he has, I knew the name, but for him to come in and throw him at that nickel position, which was a little new to him, we could just tell. We had a number of guys get sick, when it was K1 with COVID, our whole secondary with COVID for the Rams game. I'm just watching him take those reps all week. We were ready to go with him if those guys didn't come back. I think it ended up being Dante who came back the day before. But we were excited last year, and to have him here throughout the whole offseason, not just the end of last year, being able to work with him in phase 1 and phase 2 and the 2 practices today, he shows he's got a chance.
What are your initial impressions of Ross Dwelly? Saw him make good catches with Trey Lance.
Ross is Ross. He's going to catch everything. I mean, he's got as good a hands on our team. He's always in shape. He's always improving to get better. He usually puts on some size at this time, going to Kittle land where they just lift weights and get bigger, I guess. And then they come back here and we get him running and get him more into football. And Ross is always ready to go.
Well, coaches talk a lot about creating schemes that fit their players' skill sets, obviously. And I'm curious what your process is like with Trey, given there's been such a limited sample size, and how you sort of go about creating an offense for a guy that hasn't played.
Yeah, there's certain principles to what do you think a quarterback has to do, and for everybody. I mean, you'd love them to be able to do the drop back game, the play action game. You'd love them to move them out on bootlegs. You'd love to have big throws, short throws, screens, everything. And there's a time in every game that you usually need one of those. So you try them in everything. And almost every quarterback at this level is capable of doing everything. But you find how consistent they are. And there's going to be certain areas that are his strengths and certain areas that are weaknesses, just like every other quarterback I've coached. And you put them through all of that. And you don't try to hide it. You try to understand it. There's usually nothing that you can't do, but you find out what's hard on a person. So you do that if you absolutely have to. And you always try to find avenues to where you put them in an advantageous situation where they're confident because they know this is automatic. They can do that. And eventually people take that away, and you got to go to the next thing. And you got to get good at that so you can bring the other thing back. And I think that's kind of the story at every position. All right, guys. Thanks.
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Everybody good? Beautiful day in sunny Santa Clara once again.
What was the highlight of your time away from the building here?
Football-wise or just life-wise? I got to spend a lot of time with family, I'd say. Get a break. First off-season, so kind of didn't know what to expect, as far as, I said the same thing in my exit interview, as far as guys leaving, who was going to leave with Mike, players and coaches. So I didn't really know what to expect, but, it was awesome for me to get away. I got to spend some time with Nate, got to spend some time with the receivers, got to spend a lot of time with my family, and got to get good work in down in SoCal. So it was awesome for me, time away. Now back at OTAs, and then kind of do the same thing for those 40 days away.
Was there one thing more than the others that you really kind of honed in on to work on mechanically or anything else?
I didn't try to, rewrite anything. I kind of dealt with my finger throughout the season. So for me, it was kind of getting that back and getting healthy and feeling, back to myself. I felt like towards the end of the season, I wasn't the best version of myself overall. It was a long season, long pre-draft process of me not being in school. And, everyone says it's going to be, but you don't really realize it until it happens. And I think the finger for me was the biggest thing, just as far as throwing the ball. I kind of had to learn how to throw the ball differently. without, kind of using my pointer finger, I guess just because of where it was at throughout the year. But now, I feel like I'm in a great spot health-wise and throwing the ball well and feel really good.
Physical or mental, just not being the right you?
Physical, I would say. Yeah, I had fun, man. It was hard to not. We played in the NFC Championship game, so it was hard to not have a fun year. Got to learn a lot. Got to spend time with, that locker room was a ton of fun last year, and I know it's going to be a ton of fun again this year. But yeah, more physical standpoint.
How different does it feel from like just a confidence perspective coming to this OTAs from last year?
Man, last year I was swimming a little bit. It was hard to not be, drafted, and then 10 days later, rookie minicamp. So just trying to keep up with the other guys in the room. But yeah, it's I feel very, very different this year for sure.
The company line last year was that your finger got better just in time for the Houston game. In hindsight, was it still an issue, even that far into the season, and were you dealing with it then?
I could manage it, but it's a finger, so it's hard. I guess the process for me was it didn't get straight all the way. Was kind of the issue. So right away I couldn't squeeze, is why I didn't throw after that preseason game. And then as the season goes on, it kind of starts straightening more and more, and swelling goes down. And but it's just a thing that takes time.
Bad habits kind of creep in when you're having to compensate for a bent.
It's kind of just like I said, finishing off a different finger with your throw is something that you do kind of subconsciously. So it's for me, it wasn't something I was thinking about throwing, but it's kind of just happens. You find a way to adapt and find a way to throw.
Your last finger was the middle finger then?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but yeah, it was kind of between there. When your finger doesn't straighten all the way, it's hard to finish off that finger totally, if that makes sense. But yeah, we don't need to talk about it anymore. I feel like I'm in a great spot now. Yeah, it's 100% now.
You didn't have to have a procedure, right?
No, nothing like that.
I apologize. Just one more.
About the finger? It looks good, I promise, man.
This is going to be a really good one. When did the finger become normal? Like, I can straighten it.
Towards the end of the season, it got close, but, it was just a lot going on at that time. But I'd say when I came back, I took, a few weeks, about a month off of throwing, football, everything. When I came back, I felt, back to myself.
What are you hoping to accomplish these few weeks? You're missing some mainstays on offense, some starters, Debo, other linemen and stuff. What are you trying to get accomplished until those guys come back, and how much do you miss them?
I miss those guys a lot. Trent, Debo, Alex Mack, all those guys. They're just good guys to be around. JV's back in the building, Jason, so it's awesome to see him. We got real close last year, throughout him being in and out. But, for me, I just want to get better this OTAs. I think that's what it's all about for me. I'm not really trying to prove anything to anyone. Obviously, I'm going to continue to build my confidence and build guys' confidence. And we got a lot of new guys, Danny Gray, Ray, Malik. We got 10 new guys I feel like to throw to, and now a few more in the tight end room too, and running backs. So it's a ton of fun for me to get to feel guys and go out today and make mistakes and come back in the film room and learn why guys are doing what they're doing on certain routes, making certain decisions. So yeah, for me it's all about getting better over these next few weeks.
You alluded to it a bit earlier, but it was a marathon last year, counting the preseason. I think 23 games. In retrospect, that and the playoff run, what was the biggest thing that you learned kind of persevering through that marathon?
I learned everything was new, so it's hard to, I guess, put my finger on one thing. Your rookie year, you go through it. Your first playoff game is your first wild card game is your first wild card game. Your first NFC championship is your first NFC championship. So, throughout the year, everything was new. It's my first week 1, first week 2, first week 3, and so on. So. I was thankful for Jimmy, thankful for Nate, thankful for all the coaching staff and the guys in the locker room. Like I said, I think that for me was the coolest thing, to be able to be a part of that locker room last year. I feel that same type of energy this year, even without Debo yet, and Trent and the rest of those guys that aren't here yet. So I'm super excited for this year.
Trey reached out to all the rookies when they were drafted. Where did that originate?
A lot of guys reached out to me when I got drafted, so I felt it was definitely, necessary and easy to pay it forward. It wasn't anything crazy. I saw some stuff. I didn't FaceTime them or anything like that. I think they had more important people to talk to at the time. But, just texted them, said congratulations. Can't wait to get them out here. Most of them texted back, most of them. I'm just playing.
You seem like a natural leader. Last year was weird where you really couldn't be a leader. Do you feel like you're enabled to assert yourself in that way now?
Yeah, continuing to find my role. Last year was, like you said, definitely different. But for me, it's, I want to keep getting better. That's my focus right now. The leadership stuff is, that's just being a good guy in the locker room. But that's stuff that's earned. That's not really anything I can say to be a leader. But, I'm just trying to be a good guy, be a good teammate, have my teammates back at the end of the day.
Kyle mentioned he's still kind of learning your skill set and figuring out what you're best at and ways to sort of tailor the offense to what you do well. What's the biggest challenge for you from that standpoint, to being put through the ringer and seeing all of those things and how well you handle them, and what are you learning about yourself?
Everything's new. I know I'm sure Kyle said it's day 2. There's not really anything we're going to go out and change or delete or add. On day 2, we're going through it, and a lot of new guys. But I'm just trying to get better at everything I do. From day 1 to however many OTAs we get to have, however many 7-on-7 periods, whatever we get to have. I'm just going to try to get better every single set.
Does it amuse you when you see so many people have such strong opinions about how good or not you're going to be when you are done?
I was just talking to Peter about this, actually. In the most respectful way possible. It doesn't change how I feel about you guys as people, but I really don't necessarily. It's not my job to care what you guys say or anyone else on social media. For me, I care about what the guys in the locker room think and what my coaching staff thinks. And at the end of the day, that's my job. You guys, unfortunately, aren't the ones that are making decisions for me or really have any effect on me in the most, again, respectful way possible. But I know everyone's got, strong opinions one way or the other. Like I said, I'm going to go out and try to prove people wrong, prove myself right. But I'm doing it for the guys in the locker room.
Trey, piggybacking just kind of the leadership question, maybe just feeling more comfortable, even in this setting, you just seem more at ease and probably able to be more yourself. Is that accurate? Do you feel more comfortable just talking?
This is the headline question, huh? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could say that. But I feel like I'm in a good spot right now, mentally, physically. I'm excited. I'm having a ton of fun out there with these guys, and it's only day 2. So getting to compete with our defense is another thing that, man, they talk a lot, but it's a lot of fun. But, yeah, I'm excited for this year. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, see, right to the point. Yeah, happy birthday, Claire. Let's see. Got a bunch of flowers. Now, unfortunately, they got delivered and she's not home, so that's awesome. Thanks, Claire. It's on you. Got a chef coming in, cooking us something fun tonight. And, we'll see where the night takes us.
Not practicing out there today, just observing. What'd you see?
Ooh, what did I see? Tight ends catch a lot of footballs. I saw that. We have a full tight end room right now, a lot of competition, so I love seeing that. Quarterback's throwing the ball. Nate Sudfeld hit a nice deep post when the safety bit on the basic. Gotta love to see that. Love seeing deep balls for touchdowns. It's just fun seeing football back on that field again. So I'm happy to be a part of it and happy that the Niners are playing football again.
With so many other guys maybe not here in the building or not on the field, there's a different look on the field. And also new coaches. What's that whole new vibe like right now?
I think it's a great vibe right now. I really like our coaching staff. Got to meet everybody. I think we're all the nice thing about being the Niners, we all share the same goals. We all want to win a Super Bowl, so everyone's working hard. Definitely we're missing some of our key pieces. The offensive line looks a little bit different when it's Trent Williams isn't there. Lakin's gone, Brunskill and McGlinchey aren't in, and Alex Mack's not in. So, yeah, it looks a little bit different up there. But, I think the guys are learning. Coach Furster's helping that line out. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I'm looking forward to that. A lot of new faces, but at the end of the day, we're all just playing football out there together, and you got to love to see that.
Do you sense that Trey is kind of taking ownership of the situation and maybe asserting himself or letting his personality show a little bit more?
I definitely think he's taking ownership for sure. You can kind of tell that. I mean, even in meetings and stuff, he'll talk. He's assuming responsibility. He's knowledgeable about that stuff, so you got to really appreciate that about Trey. Like, he's trying, and I think, so, spending a year under Jimmy, especially with Nate in the room too, who are the two insightful guys and two guys who've been in the league for a little bit that know how to be professionals and know how to make a team and play. I think Trey's learned a lot from them, and he's taken things from them, and he's continually doing them and just trying to better himself every single day. So, you guys just talked to him. He's got his personality showing a little bit, and he's going to be out there slinging the rock around. So, I think just the more practices, the more he'll get comfortable being, the number one guy in the huddle, and I think he'll just get better from that.
That personality is something you guys saw last season too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Trey he does have a radiating personality. You can tell he loves the game. He's got a childlike love for it, probably because he's 22. No, but you could definitely tell he loves being out there. He loves playing football. He loves throwing the ball to the guys. So, yeah, he's definitely taking steps forward, and I think these practices are only going to help him.
How have you seen Ross Dwelly kind of develop headed into his fifth season? Obviously, only day 2.
I mean, Ross he's a confident guy. He's got sure hands. He knows what he's doing in the offense. He's really comfortable with it. So, I mean, he's just out there playing football every single day. Like I said, our tight end room, it's full right now. We got a lot of competition in there, and I think that's all it's going to do is help Dwelly, every single day, try to improve, try to get better, and say, hey, I'm here for a reason to play football. And, you got to love that. You love the competition in our room. And Dwelly, I mean, consistently since he was a rookie, has just gotten a little bit better every single day, and now he's a really good football player.
When it comes to tuning out noise, are there any conversations about that with Trey that you guys feel like you need to have, or is that something that you think he's done pretty much on his own?
Tuning out the noise, like what you guys say, or?
Us or anybody else?
I mean, it's football. It just kind of comes with the territory. I mean, I think he's had, I don't know, not a microscope, but a spotlight on him since he got here, and he's done a good job with it so far. I don't really envision him changing up anything that he's doing right now, but no, I don't think it's really a conversation we need to have. It's more of a, hey, just come on, play football, and let the rest take care of itself.
How's Jimmy Garoppolo doing?
No idea. Still no text back. It is what it is. He got me an iPhone and then never called me back on it. So I was like, all right, I'll take that, I guess.
When was the last time you guys talked?
I don't know. When did we clear out our lockers after the season?
Has it been that long?
Yeah. It's just Jimmy G. He does his own thing in the offseason.
Are there things you're doing this offseason to avoid the non-contact lower leg injuries? Like, are there things you're changing in terms of your prep to? Or are those
non-contact lower leg injury?
Like the calf or the foot?
That was a non-contact.
Okay. Is there anything you can do to avoid it, or is he just doing the same prep?
I mean, you can't do the same thing consistently and expect different results. So no, we've done a lot of exploring. Niners have done a good job. We've got foot specialists and all that stuff. So. No, I think one of the things, definitely I've had several lower body injuries and specifically foot, ankle stuff. And so we've done everything we can to research that stuff, add stuff to my workouts, routine, stuff like that, just to try to strengthen all that stuff. Because, I mean, if you can eliminate those things, I can be on the field for 24 games instead of the 20 we played this year. It'd be a lot better.
In addition to that, from where you ended the season to where you hope to be when this next season starts, any things that you've really kind of honed in on to improve on or kind of isolate, to reach what you would consider your potential?
Yeah, I mean, just talking to Kyle and then our new tight ends coach, Brian Fleury, we had a great offseason. He came down and visited me in Nashville just to get used to each other and, spend time with him every day after practice. And we just kind of go through all my routes from last year, run game, pass game, everything from seasons past too, just saying, hey, I know you had a great play here, but your route could have been a little bit better. You could have been more friendly to the quarterback. Your steps need to be better on this route. Your release could have done this. And so just watching stuff, critiquing it with an open mind and comparing it to whether it's a wide receiver or another tight end that does similar things that I do. Just trying to be cleaner with a lot of stuff, less wasted motions, stuff like that. But, getting better.
Ryan had such a good rapport with John Embry. How difficult is that to make that transition? I mean, there's always change in the NFL, but to go from a guy that helped bring you along and got you to the, helped get you to the point where you are to now have a new coach in that room.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love Embo, and he's a fantastic coach, one of my close friends. We'll miss him, and But, Coach Fleury, I think one thing that's benefited him, he's been in the building for, I think he's going on year 4. He's been in our tight end room. This is his 3rd year in the room. So he kind of got a sense of our culture in that tight end room and how we operate. And can you relax? Jeez Louise. She had her phone on. That's crazy. No, don't want to hear it. But, no, I think Coach Fleury, he's been in the room. He sees our culture. He knows the guys that are in there. Like, he knows what he has. And he also, I think he coaches a lot different than Embry. They're very different coaches. So it's different, but I like it as well because it is a challenge. It's something new. He's very on all of his details every single day. He knows absolutely everything going on in the offense, it's just different. He has just a different point of view of it than Coach Embry did. And, it's sometimes like that new view, that new point of view can reveal other things, that I might not have seen before. So I really appreciate that from Coach Fleury. And it's not like he's not coming in and just like, hey, I'm the new coach. Like, you need to listen to me. He's very, he talks to the guys. He's honest with everybody, and you got to just appreciate that. He's been great so far this offseason.
He has such an extensive background. He was a college quarterback
Unreal.
and then coached linebackers.
I'm so sorry for your colleagues. That's crazy.
So, anyway, college QB, he has coached linebackers, now coaching tight ends. As a tight end, is some of that attention to detail, does that go back to how many different positions he's worked with, and can he incorporate that in useful ways as a coach?
Yeah, just for example, like one thing he did, like our first 2 weeks back here, we broke down all the defenses that we're going to go, like a lot of the defenses we're going to go against this year, and just like how he breaks them down as a defensive coach, their responsibilities and all that stuff. And while like that's something that most NFL players know, just to like get a complete restructure of that and relearn the entire thing was very beneficial to I think our entire room. But he has a very different perspective on the game of football. Like, he wasn't a tight end his entire life, and while like I don't think Fleury's going to he's not going to teach me how to run block better. He can show me like, hey, we can do better on your first step here. Your hand placement can be better here. But he also like I said, his detail in the pass game it's been really it's been fun to listen to because it's just different than what I've heard before.
Is there a special story or meaning to the new tattoo on your hand?
Oh, Hobbes from Calvin and Hobbes. It's my favorite comic. Also just wanted to break into the hand tat gang because now I can get tattoos wherever I want.
That was a barrier you had to break through. You're gonna get one like on your head?
No, I'm gonna avoid the neck and the face for now. Who knows?
You and Trey and I think Nate went to a Warriors game.
Yeah, and Dwelly. Why are you leaving out Dwelly, Cam?
He was hiding behind. Couldn't see him straight.
It's
Anyhow,
crazy.
what's like the reaction that you kind of got from Warrior fans, and what did they say like just seeing Trey? As he's
Everybody's
out in
just
public?
excited. How can you not be? It's gonna be fun. When you trade 3 first-round picks, like, you're excited for a guy of that caliber to come in and play football. I'm excited for it too. It just brings a different dimension to the game, with his legs and the extending of the plays. But, we're doing 7-on-7 right now, so you don't really see a lot of a pass rush. So I think that's really good for Trey to force him to be in the pocket and throw the football on time and just really get in tune with Coach Shanahan's offense because it is a complicated offense. But then once you get him out there and he's going to be around live bodies and running around and stuff, I think there's going to be a different side of the 49ers offense that we haven't seen before.
Do you see a difference between year 2 Trey and year 1 Trey?
Yeah, I would say so. Even if it's just from like his routine every single day to how he holds himself, his confidence, I feel like is a lot higher too. Really, I think as a NFL player, you have to have confidence to be able to do anything. Like, if you lack confidence, then that's when you drop a football. That's when you can't. Everything snowballs, and you throw one interception, then the next thing you know, it's an incomplete pass. You mess up a play call, and Trey's done a good job of like, hey, if he doesn't like a pass, the next one's still going to come out firing. And so you got to appreciate that. But I think he's gotten better from where he was at the end of last year, and I think he's taken strides forward.
When you guys transitioned to Jimmy during your rookie year in 2017. You guys weren't all that established. You were still learning Kyle's offense. It was a much younger and different roster. Now that you guys are a little bit more established and you have more talent, I think, offensively, going through a quarterback change, are you guys you guys are better suited, I would think, but in what ways are you guys better suited to handle a quarterback transition right now?
Like you said, I think we've got really good players on the offensive side of the football. I think we have a lot of confident players too, and I also think Kyle's going into year 5 of being a head coach, or 6, right? Is it 6? Yeah, year 6 of being a head coach. So I think he has a better understanding like how to install the offense he wants installed, and so we run it the way he wants it to be ran. Because our installed like this week. It was a complete 180 of how we installed it my rookie season, and the way it's coached is more details on specific things that Kyle wants. And so when you can, learn it like that, and Kyle now knows how he wants to do it, I think it's just beneficial for all of us to kind of relearn the whole offense as well. And that's one of the benefits of being at OTAs.
How was Alex's wedding and your trip to Europe?
Oh, see, that's a great question. Goodness gracious. Alex got married at a castle in Ireland. That was pretty cool. Actually, the Ryder Cup's going to be there in 2027. I couldn't get on the course, so we got there like a week early, so that was kind of brutal. No, it was stunning though. You don't really get into a castle that often, so I really, really enjoyed that. Weather was fantastic. I really like Dublin. That was really fun. It's like has a party feel to it where everyone just wants to get out of work and drink Guinness at like 11 a.m. So like that's such a power move, and I joined right in with them, so that was really enjoyable as well. I had a great time in Dublin. Hey, thanks guys. What?
Would you say the celebration along with the wedding was more like a retirement celebration for Alex, or like a welcome back for another season?
Wow. That was wow. I'm doing my best job to recruit everybody to come back and play for the Niners. I'm just talking to I think my wedding gift to his wife was, hey, make sure Alex plays one more year. So, we'll see what happens. If he wants to retire, he deserves to retire. He's had a hell of a career, all-decade team, 13 seasons. But we would love to have him back. From just being a leader to being just an absolute character and a pretty damn good football player. We'd love to have him back, but again, he's deserved the right to retire if he wants to. But I don't really want him to, so Alex, please. Good, guys? Thanks, guys.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
How does it feel out there? Just obviously transitioning to a new quarterback who's been here a year, obviously, but does it feel like the offense is kind of rolling where you would expect it to be this time of year?
It feels good. First off, it feels good just being back out there with all the guys again. Being back out there with Trey, being back out there with all the receivers, going against the defense again. So that's been feeling real good. But just getting to see some of the stuff that we've been able to put together in the past few months, being off, and getting to go full speed and just continue to work.
What's your first impressions of going up against Charvarius Ward and the daily battles you guys could be having in training camp?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about him. I'm excited not only to go up against him, but to have him on our defense and watch him go after receivers. I've already watched him go. I've watched a lot of his stuff already so far. I got to play him a little bit last season when we played Kansas City in the preseason game. So I know him a little bit, but yeah, definitely excited to have him on our team. Definitely excited to get better going up against him and all our DBs. We have a great DB room, so excited to get into camp and continue to work with those guys.
Did you go back and watch him after you guys signed him?
Of course.
How many games did you watch, or how many, what did you want to see?
Well, I watched him versus I've talked to him already. I watched him versus the Cowboys, just him going against some receivers that I like to watch as well. So Yeah,
And what'd you see?
he's a good corner.
You said, of course, like you'd obviously go and watch him. Why is that part of your process to go watch a cornerback who's now a new teammate?
That's a big money corner. So those are guys that we go against. Those are guys that you make your money playing against. So just the competitive nature and just seeing what he's about.
You went to Southern California with Trey to work out during the off season. What did you guys work on? What kind of progress did you make down there?
I think we went down there to throw, but it was just a guy. It was the guys getting together. He put it together. Just all of us being able to switch up the scenery, come down, hang out with each other, throw the football around a little bit, and just being in California sun. But we got to work on a lot of things down there, and we just playing football. Just a lot of guys. It was the first time throughout the off season that we were running routes and doing some stuff like that. So we're like, maybe we'll just all get together and do that together. But like I said, we're just building off of that, what we did, and just kind of fine-tune those things right now in this period that we get.
What's the receiver room like right now with a new position coach and without Debo in there? Was he chiming in at all virtually or anything this offseason, or you kept in touch with him?
Oh yeah, of course. I've talked to him. I know, of course, I know you guys want to know about what he's on, but yeah, I've talked to him. I kept in touch. We just called him earlier. He's working now, but everybody's in good spirits. Well, the room's awesome. Awesome. We love the new additions that we've had to the room with those young guys, and then the older guys from other teams as well. So I think we have a real legit room. And then just with Hank, I love Hank as receiver coach. I love having him. Just every day being able to learn from him. He shows his own clips in the receiving room, and we just get to watch him, talk to him. But I think it's really just it's a real connection there with Hank. So I feel like a lot of guys in the room feel that as well.
Do you feel a little more ownership in the room, being one of the guys who's been around longer?
Yeah, of course. We're young. We're not really young. You could say we're young in terms of playing. We have really 3 people who've played in this offense, and it's 2 of them here right now. So of course I have to take that ownership and just try to help the guys, the young guys especially, which I get to see now, being that guy last year and the year before, the young guy, just understanding, kind of seeing it from a different view of what they want from me, and I get a little bit more of an understanding of why they did certain things. Having a younger guy in the room now, and being able to see him, being able to talk to him about those things that maybe I had to go through, or maybe other people had to go through, or I had to see people go through, things that they might have got on me for that I see. So yeah.
What have your impressions been of Danny Gray?
He can fly. But also he's came in and he's ready to learn, he's ready to work. I like him.
You saw Debo have a really special year 3 last year. You're going into your year 3 this year. I mean, do you have goals in mind, numbers-wise, yardage-wise? I mean, what are you anticipating for yourself in year 3?
Well, I think everybody has personal goals that they want, but I know that comes alongside with everything that we want to do as a football team. So I'm just trying to really maximize my spot, my role that I have in this offense, and really let that take it where it's at. And because, of course, I have goals for myself, but you never know how things are going to go. So I don't want to sell myself short with my goals. So I just feel like just maximize everything I get, maximize everything from right now, starting right now in this off-season period. Just being on my stuff. And I know if I take care of what I need to take care of, I'm not worried about that at all. That's going to take care of itself.
You mentioned talking to the young guys about things that you had gone through. When you look back last year, what's something that you can pull from your experience that you can offer to the young guys in terms of advice?
Just like as a young guy, you come in, you want to be confident. You feel like pretty much everybody's been the guy where they come from. So there hasn't been there's not a lot of times where you have to take things or change things up or do something differently. So you kind of feel like things that have worked for you in the past are going to continue to work for you. So it's kind of hard to get out of that and just really fully take in coaching when you've done certain things a certain way. So it's pretty much stuff like that. Just being able to really being coachable, just understanding coaching and just understanding that people that are telling you stuff have been in this a long time. They've seen it a lot. They've developed receivers or even other positions. So just being coachable.
That's good. Thank you, VA.
Appreciate it. Back to the normal, right? It's good. It's good. I see some familiar faces in the crowd. That one new. That one new. Hey. All right. Y'all ready?
For all these years, Jimmy, how do you prepare for the coming season? Do you still, how do you kind of figure out where you want to devote your time and energy in the off season to improve, or areas you need to kind of hone in on?
It's a lot of areas I can improve on. I feel like I left a lot of plays out on the field. I felt like I should have been all pro. I feel like it was enough plays that I could have made in the 2021 season to go all pro, but I didn't make all my plays. So it's a lot of stuff, and I can continue to sharpen my pencil and get better at.
Those plays you're talking about, were they physical or mental plays you could have both?
Both. Like as in like sometimes I stop my feet and try to make a tackle, try to make some type of phenomenal play, a strip tackle or something like that. And sometimes I can keep my feet running, as in tackling. Sometimes in fire zone, I feel like I can read the concept better because I got a great sense of awareness. And then I've been in this defense. I want to say, me and Eric been in defense the longest, but it's like stuff, we're going to get the same routes over and over and over. So it's like it's time for me to take my game to a new level.
I mean, Jimmy, is that part of it, just the takeaways and just kind of getting that notoriety? Are those some of the plays you're talking about too?
Yeah, I definitely I get some takeaways. Oh, as in high pointing the ball. Like it's some times where like Philadelphia, I want to say Jalen Hurts, he was trying to throw me one. He wanted to throw me one bad. I just didn't execute it and make the big play. But that puts been one of them puts been my pick. If you go back and watch that game, there's a few more plays I left on the field too from last year. I missed the tackle in Detroit game, and I want to say Swift broke out like 2-3 times that game. I made every one but suffer one. Like I feel like, I could make that one tackle. Like I don't know what's my percentage of missed tackles, but I don't miss many. But if I can attack the ball, get the ball more with my tackling skills, like hands down, best safety in the league.
Jimmy, you have not obviously been an All-Pro. You've not been voted to a Pro Bowl, but you have widespread respect from your teammates and I'm sure across the league. Does that, obviously you want those other accolades, but makes sense to soften the blow. The fact that you're proud of what you've accomplished in your career, but it sounds like you're still hungry for more. Yeah, I'm definitely hungry for more. It's a lot of things that go into just being a professional football. Sometimes guys get drafted to the right scheme, right position, but that wasn't my case. I had to persevere through some adversity, and it just makes me who I am. And I've kind of been through adversity all through my life. So that's probably what I get the respect for. Like, some players know what I've been through. So, but Pro Bowl, gosh, good luck. Ever since I gave that interview with Grant, I've been talking that shit on Instagram. Good luck. I'm not very likable. I understand I'm the villain now, so they can't turn me into the villain. I'm already the villain. So, but I'm a great guy on and off the field. I just talk my shit because I'm going to back it up.
As the offseason goes on, what ways are you looking forward to Trey Lance challenging the defense, maybe in ways that hasn't happened in previous off seasons?
Trey, I just want him to be him. Him being him, that's enough. He can move around the pocket. Nate's pretty good too. Jimmy do the same thing. All Jimmy had to do was trust his leg, and when he trusts his leg, you see how many games he won. But I'm gonna keep it on Trey. I can juice up everybody. But like I said, all Trey got to do is build that confidence up, keep getting them reps like he's doing, and each day he's gonna get better.
Can you see the difference between him now and what he was at this time last year?
He's more comfortable. Coming in OTAs, you get to start day one. He's still gonna make mistakes. I'm 9 years and I'm still making mistakes. So it's just about experience with him. So the more plays you get, the more different defense you get to go up against, and we're one of the best defenses in the league. Well, we got to prove that shit again, but previous was one of the best defense in the last few years. But him going against us, we're gonna make him better, and he's also gonna make us better.
You're right next. Your lockers are side by side, right?
Oh,
you and Trey.
Yeah.
And what kind of rapport do you have with him? And like, Is he a friend of yours? Like, does it go beyond the field? Do you talk shop a lot? Like, what's that rapport like?
Oh, we just talk shit to each other every day or every other day. I tell him, like, hey, you're not going to be able to throw this ball on me, or you're not going to be able to fit this in. Like, it's a wrap. You got to look somewhere else. Hey, I'm going to lean to your X wide receiver, so I'm going to force you to throw backside, and you're going to have to read the defense. Or he'll tell me, hey, I'm going deep today. I'm throwing the ball deep. Man, I don't care if you're back there or not. If I get the read, I'm going to throw it. So just like, friendly competition like that. But we know we getting each other better.
Balance out.
Yeah.
Does he get better? Yeah.
Right. 2 days OTAs. He made some good throws. Yeah, 2 days 2 days he made some great throws. He just fit one in on me today. Coach Kyle, he got some smart routes. He's got some smart schemes, and Trey got a strong arm, so he gonna zip the ball in. If you give him any space, and he trusts it, he gonna zip it in. So, but like I said, I like where he's at right now.
Do you, Jimmy, like when you were a rookie, we didn't get the full Jimmy Ward experience like we get now. So do you feel like you see more of Trey's personality now that he's not a rookie?
It's hard. It's hard to really say, because he's still young. And, I'm right next to him. Trey doesn't feel like he did anything yet. He's only played 2 games. So I feel like it's a lot of stuff that he wants to do, a lot of accolades that he wants, just like me. But he's younger. So he just got to keep, he got to stay in his playbook, keep taking care of his body like he does. If you don't know, Trey's one of the first persons here in the morning, and he's one of the last persons to leave. So that's a good sign from the leader of your team.
It seems like your mentor role is probably more reserved for Hufanga and coaching him up if he's going to take over a starting spot. How's that relationship?
Oh, it's pretty cool, man. Huffa's a great guy. Talks a lot. Heavy on the communication. Great hair. Might get him a shampoo deal in the future. Old Spice or something, Head and Shoulders. But no, man, I realize what's real, and what's real is right now his experience level. I have more experience than him, so if I can catch him up, if I can help coach him with DB, NCU, and try to give him some of the knowledge that I know, that'll make me and him equal, and that's gonna raise my game up. Just because I can count on him and he's gonna make me better. And I think it was one play I ended up forgetting. It was a rotation call, so we had to instead of coming down right, so just say it was right. It was a jet or a regular motion, and we needed to go down left. And I was so locked in, Huff like, hey, right, and he got my attention. And just like that, I could have bust, but he has enough experience. Like he played, how many games he started last year? 3. Damn, it seemed like it was like 6 or 7. He kept getting in the game every day, though. Every game. So that's probably why it seemed like he started damn near like 10 games or something. But just that, him seeing the game from last year got him that much comfortable this year. And he's covering. He has great angles and a run fit, and he knows his stuff. And for him, it's just keep seeing it. Same shit. Experience. But, yeah. Any more questions?
No, I'm from the 49ers Spanish broadcast team.
Oh, damn, my bad. Hey, is it? Hello? Okay. All right, my bad. All right. Next one.
One more question for you. You mentioned that Trey Lance, first person in the building, last to leave. That's a good quality for a leader. Why do you consider him a leader at this young stage of his career? Well,
I don't know what's going to happen. Do you even know anything that's going to happen? As of right now, I just see Trey Lance starting. So, I just feel like that's how a quarterback's supposed to act. Jimmy did the same thing. So I don't know what's the deal with that whole situation. But just speaking of what we have right now, I just feel like that's how you're supposed to carry yourself. And to me, I feel like he's a leader because he's quarterback-driven lead, and he's the one who's going to be controlling the rock. So, young, I don't care. Old, 2 years, 3 years, vet, you looked at as a leader.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a nice day.